Okay guys, I'm going to do a video here on Golem, kind of show a little bit of what I talked about the other day with diminishing returns. This will also be a little bit of a learning process for me too, because I have not experimented with Golem in probably a month and a half or so. So my stats have changed a lot, and what I thought was a good idea then might not be a good idea now. So the first thing you want to do is obviously make sure that your dragon is set to black, so that way you get the extra bonuses. Also, with the emblems now, try to make sure that you're getting your bonuses on your attack. So, for example, you want to make sure you're getting the bowman attack here on your triangle ones, and the troop attack on your 2 circles. So you might have to level up some skills just because you probably only have been leveling up the march capacity. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world if you don't, and unless you have problems like me where you want to be as high as you possibly can, it's really not worth resetting your skills, which is actually what I did to get this to 20, so I would get the bowman attack. And then always double check your gear, everything is set to gold, and then again, if you're trying to go as high as you possibly can, you're going to want to buy the Battle Blade and the Crown of Command. These come on sale for the weekend as well. You could buy the shorter duration for 8 hours here, but since we have Alliance Conquest today as well, I will use this during that anyways. The weeks when we have KBK, I'll buy these in the morning and I'll do it before KBK starts, just to make sure that I can get it done before I lose any troops. Which is also why I am, currently running a shield, just so I can get that done before I lose any troops in Conquest. So, let's go, which one is the system? Find the golem. Fortunately, it's a little bit far away, which is annoying. So this first one, I won't do a large amount of damage with. It'll just kind of show you how just having a lot of your best troop isn't your best option. So let's do about 20,000 cavalry, 60,000 bowmen. Actually, hang on. I need to equip the Crown of Command first. And I also am going to want to use my March boost. Again, since it's Conquest, I'm going to use the 12-hour, otherwise I would just use a 2-hour. And then I already have a Savage attack and Fierce defense running. You can use whatever your best is. The Savage is only 5% better, it costs a little more gold. These are both 20%, so it's still a nice boost. Okay, so again, we'll just kind of start with, this will be a bad attack. So 35,000, 115,000, about 10,000, and 60,000. Infantry don't do a lot of damage. Siege can be okay. And we'll kind of test all that later. Like I said, this is just going to be our baseline. Double check one more time just because I don't trust myself. Put you about there, you about there, you about there, you about there. Alright, so that's kind of what we're going to show, how we can get the damage that this is going to do and get it to go up. So we send our march, and then we're going to put the Battle Blade back on. And we'll watch it run around. So it's going to zoom on over. We don't have any cavalry, we don't have any siege, so this is going to go reasonably quick. We can see Lap already has a nice visitor here. It's got 155 million. I'm certain we have some visitors as well. And just conquest has started, resources gathered. And there's the first hit. So just to make sure I don't forget, I'm going to put on my Crown of Command again. We'll go look and see how much damage I did. So you see I did 220,000, which is not bad, but not as good as I want to do. I really want to get over 3 million, which means I need to be doing 300,000 a hit, which I'm not going to get this time. Just I don't have the stats good enough to get there, but that's the goal. So now we're going to send my normal, this is my portal and my golem setup. It actually reminds me I forgot to use the talent here as well. So it's going to screw up my numbers a little bit, but we'll still see. So we'll add some more bowmen here, and we'll add some more bowmen here, and we'll add some more bowmen here. And this basically sends everything but melee siege. So I'm not certain why there aren't any of those. And switch back to the Battle Blade. And let's see how much damage we did. So actually now I did do 340,000. And that's mostly just because of how much I have been able to increase my march capacity over the last week, and a little bit from stats as well. But as you can see, I did 100,000, 120,000 more damage by sending more weaker troops. And that's knowledge you want to use on your general attacks as well. But on the golem, we don't have to worry about defense at all. So that's why we only needed to send a few infantry. Because it's the same thing, that diminishing returns, they're going to do a little bit more damage than sending a bunch more bowmen. So we're going to kind of see, can we figure out how to improve this number of 344,000? So the first thing, just since it's been a long time, like I said, since I've really experimented here, I'm going to take out all of the siege and see if by sending more of my other troops that's going to help or hurt what we were doing before. That's everything there, so let's send a little more here, we'll send a little more here, we'll send a little more here. Actually, I don't have my Crown of Command on, so I'm going to have to do that again. Again, we'll take off siege, 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 and siege. Add a little more bowmen, add a little more bowmen, add a little more bowmen, add some cavalry, add a little more bowmen, add some cavalry, a little more bowmen, a little more cavalry, a little more bowmen, a little more cavalry, and then more bowmen, and more bowmen. So right now we kind of have 65,000 T10 and 27,000 T9. Again, send the attack. Well, let's just kind of look around and see if we have any visitors since looks like we might not have anyone yet, which is a little surprising to me. And I almost forgot to put on my battle blade, so and splat. Put on the Crown Command so we don't forget that. And you can see that actually taking out my siege resulted in doing just a little bit less damage. We're at 343, where last time we were at 344. So that's why I still send siege. It does let you do just a little bit more damage. So we'll wait for them to get back. We'll watch EHV here. Sorry about that. Video opened up on my computer. Okay, so we'll send our true formation that has a little bit of everything. This time we're going to send closer to 50,000 T9, and then a little more, around 37,000 there, and a little bit more here. And switch back to our battle blade. And just over here, these are the new emblems. Like I said, I kind of don't like these packs, but it's not terrible just because you'll get a lot of emblems that you could use to level up. If I did buy anything, it would probably be this $10 pack for that reason, just so that way I could turn these all into the little portal dust stuff. But I am trying not to spend. We'll see how long that lasts. So again, damage was down just a little bit. So that means that I could have sent probably more T10. And that's kind of a lot of what we're trying to do here, is just experiment around and find what's that sweet spot for doing as much damage as we can. And I did put on the head. So again, just a lot of waiting. That's kind of why a lot of people will port over, but I don't understand why. It's not worth 4,000 gold in ports to get this done faster. You have all day. There's no reason to be in a hurry. So There it's back. There's the march. So we'll start with the baseline. This time I'm going to try sending a little more cavalry. We'll put this to around 45, I guess 46. A little more cavalry. Put this to around 31. And then I want to send maybe this to 13. And a little more cavalry. A little more cavalry. And then we'll just send a little more T10 to fill that out. And put our battle blade back on. And I mean, this is kind of all you're doing is you're just looking to get that baseline and then tweak it until you find where you do your most damage. Then you'll set that into your one of your formations. So that way you can use that on the next time that you do golem or you do the portal monster. So your portal uses basically the same basic rules. It doesn't attack you, so you don't have to worry about defense. So you're just trying to figure out how you can do as much damage as possible. And then you kind of want to remember roughly what you had your archer set as. You're going to have to tone it down a little bit when you do actual attacks into other players, because you're going to want infantry. Because otherwise your bowmen are going to die before they get to do any damage. So, and this one went down even more, which I kind of expected, because again, I've been, a consistent point I've been saying is that my cavalry stats are not that good, especially in comparison to my bowman stats. Your profile stats are higher than what you're going to have in your actual reports, but you can see my cavalry attack is 673, while my bowman attack is 703. And if you remember from looking at my dragon, I'm getting another plus 100 off the skill, whereas the cavalry I think is only like 15, so that's like 75% or maybe. Which just means that my cavalry are not as strong as my bowmen, on top of bowmen having stronger attack in general. So, anything past this point is probably not going to be that interesting. It's just going to be more of me tweaking a little bit. You're welcome to watch if you're that bored. But otherwise, we're just going to do the rest of my attacks and see what I end up at. So let's send 53, and let's try this much this time. Yeah, and we're still doing less than the 344, which is currently our highest. And just kind of check killing threat. So we can see we're already almost at 2 million, and that's with that first attack that wasn't good, just to kind of show how much better using layers is. this one I'm going to take a little less cavalry and see if that improves my damage or not. So we'll take this down to, say, 10. This is still around 53. Put this down to around 7. And put this to around there. I'm okay with that number. Let's send a little more of these. A little more of these. More of those, not that many. Some more of those. Some more of those. And then we'll just send a little more T10. Still first. Looks like we might finally have some people that have showed up. This is a little weird. So they should be showing up in red. I'm not certain why they're not in red. And these are just fake rallies so that you can hide your troops. Son of a... I forgot to switch to Battle Blade. So you can see that dropped my damage pretty considerably. Actually, I guess it's not that terrible. But it does make that not a good test, and that's unfortunate. So we'll do that test with sending a little bit less cavalry here again. You to around 10, around, I think it's around 57. Then you down, you up, this one up, this one up, this one up. And send that up a little bit, and yeah, that has us at a full march, and this time we will actually remember to put on the Battle Blade, so it is a good test. But the fact that we were so close tells me that I probably am going to do more damage. It's looking like it's getting a little laggy on me here. Let's see. 330,000 troops. It's a good number. Fortunately, since I didn't scan on myself, I can't do a benefit comparison, and I don't remember what everything I have total up to is. And based on what Tim said here, it looks like he just left. Yep, so empty, but we still have that big hole here. As some people probably poured out to start conquest themselves. But we still have a couple more hits, and then we'll go have our own fun. And we still ended up basically doing that 344 number that we did on our second hit, 344, 610 to 344, 340. So that tells me that some things were a little better, some things were a little worse. I still need to figure out the exact ratio for tier of troops, and I haven't been able to figure out that. Lilo is very scary. Where is it? Individual kills. As you can see, there's Lilo there. Anyways, command is back on. 3. Let me take this down just a little bit, not as much. Put this all the way up to there. I'm gonna put this to about there, and we're gonna send this up there. And let's see how that does. That got really laggy there. Wow. Come on, game. So that finally came through. That went. I mean, 2000 is not terribly down, but that's pretty considerably down to me. And I think that's because I sent too many bowmen. Again, I'm getting really laggy here. I don't know if it's because I'm recording or the game is just being the game and it feels like lagging. Looks like somebody new came. Yeah, this guy has 2.4 billion. There's absolutely nothing that we can do to that. Especially since right now he's going to have a stat bonus on top. And you can see that he too is sending 10s and 9s. He's actually a little stupid because he sent T9. I don't know why this keeps collapsing on me. It's a little annoying. Because these T9 infantry, they're going to die after the T10. So they're not as helpful. He either should have just sent more T10 or T8. But then again, it's Conquest and it doesn't matter. Let me go back to our Kingdom threat and put on this. It's really annoyingly laggy. So this will be our last attack. I'm going to take this down just a smidge. I'm going to put this to there. Actually, I want that to be a little bit higher. Let's say around there. You to around there. And then you all the way up there. And then actually, let's just max that out. I feel like that's too much, though. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And there's our last hit. And again, we did a little bit less. And then we'll figure out how much we did overall. Kingdom Threat, damage ranking. And I did crack 3 million, which was my goal. I think Andro does like 3.4, maybe 3.5. So unless Avenger watches this and steals all my tricks, I should finish in the top 3. I do believe this is more than Sam did last time, so maybe I'll get second this time. We'll see. Just kind of a quick summary is, if you're trying to do as much as you can, make sure you buy both of these temporary relics. You will launch your march with the march capacity, switch to Battle Blade once you're marching. Look to using attack boost. The 12-hour savage attack is what I currently have. It's just 5% more, but when you're trying to get the top score, 5%'s a big difference. But otherwise, I would just recommend using one of these 20%. Defense doesn't matter at all. I just use this just because we're in kill event, and I was playing with Andrew this morning. March capacity, super important. Use whichever one you have. You can get these 2-hour boosts from the Spire for like 20,000 crystals, so they're pretty easy to get and really helpful. Otherwise, that's just playing around, figure out what your best ratio of troops are, sending just a little bit of siege, a little bit of infantry, a little bit more of cavalry, but mostly you're going to be using your bowmen, and it's figuring out, how many bowmen do I need to send? When is it better to send a lower tier bowman than a higher tier? And that seems to be everything. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this for you guys.